And at this time, we do have time for a second round of questions, so I will recognize myself for an additional 5 minutes of questions. Ms. Wilson, I want to direct this to you. You've worked with legislatures around the world. What lessons from global experiments with AI do you think that Congress is uniquely positioned to maybe adopt?
All right, thank you so much for these questions. I will start by saying that our work with international legislatures has actually been an extremely eye-opening experience, especially as a prior congressional staffer. I think that I took for granted the incredibly robust IT infrastructure and all of the benefits of that this body has. And I think that that's in itself a lesson to learn from. With a lot of the legislatures that we work with, the way that they're implementing AI is to rapidly modernize their internal processes in the practice of just digitizing documents, making data accessible, getting up-to-date websites, things that we really do take for granted, I think, as a U.S. Congress. But that really, I think, showcases that the fact that the U.S. Congress already has such a strong IT foundation lets you kind of build on top of that. So while other countries are using AI to kind of build that foundation, we actually have the ability to experiment and to be the people who design the future of constituent engagement. And so, so I would say that that's kind of the first element. The second element is one of the biggest kind of difference makers with international institutions that have been able to kind of move more agilely is having internal processes that allow them to test and experiment and adopt new tools. And a lot of that comes back down to kind of your internal authorization and security protocols. And with that, having kind of a tiered system has really helped kind of expedite the ability for new tools to be tested that are low risk and be more quickly adopted, so that then they can be implemented and staff and members can start benefiting from them.
That was an incredible segue into my next question to the panelists, so thank you for that. There's a couple things that we think about when we're trying to launch new technology within the House, specifically cybersecurity. It becomes a big topic of conversation. I think that for the panel, I would ask you all, there are rigorous standards to become a vendor for the House, and some of the individuals that want to partner with us may have their particular platform rejected for a variety of reasons. So this is going to be a couple of maybe parts of a question. One, is there a way for us to speed up that approval process? Two, are the individuals, the vendors that are wanting to partner with us, are they able to know and learn why they may have been denied? And what should we be thinking about as a committee to try to help improve the process and or the recruitment of vendors that potentially have innovative technologies that the House could be utilizing? It's a lot, but I'll throw it open to anyone who wishes to answer. Mr. Ward and Dr. Novak seem to be looking at each other. So
everybody's looking at me, okay. Well, so we have a number of different processes that depend a little bit on what the technology is. So for example, with CMS, there's a specific process for that, and there's other processes for other cloud services.
Can I ask a question on that? How often is the process reviewed, would you say?
Well, the CMS contract is, typically issued for like a 6-year term with option years, but every 2-year option period, it's reviewed. The cloud approval process, we're always kind of looking at, that's a House Information Security policy of the committee. And there's work underway now, I think you're aware of, in collaboration with your staff to look at that. So you mentioned 2 things that I think will be realized in the new year, which is more information on house.gov for vendors. Mm-hmm. More information on HouseNet for staff to understand those processes. And what we propose with the CMS modernization is a part of a larger puzzle of doing business with the House that we want to improve.
Dr. Novak.
So I'm happy to take offline the question of how we've streamlined that process in New Jersey for making it faster for vendors. Let me just speak to the public engagement pilot idea. This is not something that needs to integrate with core systems, and therefore it should be something that is easy to try effectively tomorrow.
So standalone.
Sorry?
So it's a standalone platform.
One can do something in a sandboxed environment that is a standalone that allows you to test processes while you work in parallel to figure out then how would you integrate technologies. So it could stand alone, and because you're talking about public comments, not something that involves private information. And by the way, you can use AI to filter out any private information or social security numbers that someone does accidentally type in. That's something fairly easy to do. That would be something relatively quickly to stand up as a pilot without worrying about integration with back-end systems.
Excellent. I think that is the end of the questions that I have at the moment. Ms. Torres, would you like